Just want to thank all of you for joining us, and for those of you that are enjoying the recorded archive, we trust that you'll continue to subscribe to our channel. And we do offer weekly yoga classes online, which my loving partner Anka leads. That's Thursday nights, and Tuesday nights we have our weekly healing circle, again 7 o'clock on both cases, as well as this Wednesday night satsang. So that being said, let me dive right in. And I want to start by a comment from our Guru Dev. He said, "He who finds joy within himself discovers that his body is charged with electric current, life energy, we call it, prana, not from food, but from God." And as the Bible said, man does not live on bread alone. It's through the mouth of God, the word of God. And that word expressed through the Bible is really talking about prana, or life force. And so it is that we begin tonight to help us to understand what that means to each of us. Well, first of all, it's very important for us to understand that only you can control your own destiny. You're creating your own reality. Your mind is that instrument, utilizing the brain as a tool. The brain is just a mechanical device. It's an electrical organ. It actually starts to create body consciousness, the material consciousness that defines our circumstances. Having said that, it's important that we see that it does create our realities around us. And so it's very important for us to get control over our mind and to understand how it will help us to determine, to create the future you, the future of your life, the things that you deserve to manifest and draw into your life. When you carry a thought and express it with dynamic willpower, then it will begin to assume a tangible material outer form. It has to. This is a physical law. It's actually been proven over the millennium by the great saints and sages of all religions. Our own Guru Dev had often said, the greater the will, the greater the flow of energy. That willpower will bring things into your life. But now physics, and particularly quantum biology, epigenetics, quantum physics, are actually showing through lab experiments that that's a truth that can be proven through science and not just the mystical or spiritual science. When your willpower is developed to that point of realization, you then become the controller of your own destiny. Thoughts create matter. It's interesting that we have, for 100 years almost now, we've known through one of the most resounding experiments that have been the underpinning of all of quantum physics, the thin slit experiment. You know, where we've taken light beams and passed them through two thin slits in, call it wood or cardboard, and then seeing what happens out at the other side of those slits. So if you had two sheets of plywood, you had two slits here and solid here. If you passed light through those two thin slits, what happens? It's interesting to note that light as a wave manifests only when being observed. The intelligent observer changes the way in which the reality manifests for us. And it's a beginning of understanding. In fact, it's been almost 100 years now that physicists have been trying to rationalize the results of this most simple experiments. But here's some of the underpinning physics behind it. Our brain, activated by thoughts or our intentions, generates electric current. And we know in physics that moving charges create electric fields. At the same time, your heart, as an organ of emotion, and you could say that the feelings are energy in motion, that's emotions, that energy in motion creates magnetic fields. So the brain is creating electrical currents. That's through the neurons that connect to form these neural pathways, these neural networks that form our patterns of behavior. And when we associate it with the feelings, where we start feeling what it's like to be happy, or feeling what it's like to be sick, or feeling what it's like to be tired, or feeling what it's like to be wealthy, or to get a new job, or how it would feel to drive that new car. All these feelings associated with an intention of being healthy, or the intention of being sick, or being tired, or the intention of getting a new job. When we connect the intention, the electric field, with the magnetic field of feeling, we generate what's known as an electromagnetic field. This is your energy body. Now, one of the scientists of some time ago, Mr. Kirlian, had come up with a way to actually photograph this electric field around our bodies. We call them Kirlian photography. And it's still being used in some areas of science. But there's even more tools available to us today through brain scans, brainwave, heart scanning, where we can actually measure these waveforms and watch how they change with differing thoughts, differing intentions, differing emotions. In future satsangs, we're going to dive deeper into the physics of this, and I want to show you some of the most recent experiments that have been done and some of the clinical trials done all around consciousness and the ability to create reality from mere thought. Because in fact, that's what we're doing each and every day. Our thoughts create our realities, and to the extent that we bring emotion to them, willpower, willingness, as Yogananda would say, the greater the will, the greater the flow of energy. The more energy, the more power. And the more power, the stronger the vibration of field that we're creating. And of course, that field connects to, guess what? The astral realm, the two-dimensional, non-localized, infinite space. And it's within that field that we are connecting. And this is called consciousness. I'll talk more about that in a moment. So again, combining your intention, setting an intention through your thought, and associating it with heartfelt feelings. Very clearly, how do you feel about that intention? You then create an electromagnetic field that has the same level of strength as the energy that you're putting into it. The greater the will, the greater the flow of energy. This becomes your energy body, your aura, or your field, as we call it, that has very specific characteristics. Now, in physics, we'll define a wave as having frequency. The higher the frequency, the more energy, and wavelength, the distance between one full cycle of wave measured, easily measured in wavelengths. Those two characteristics alone can define the characteristics of any wave. We know in physics and in all of science that waves carry information. So it's through that wave that you're creating, that electromagnetic field made up of these waves, that you're carrying your information into the non-localized two-dimensional realm of the astral world. That astral world in physics is called the quantum field, or some refer to it now as the 0-point field. Now that's just a scientific term, but it's the energy verse, as one great friend, Joe, had written in his book, The Physics of God, a really wonderful book that I'll reference tonight, and I'll share with you more as we go forward. But again, it's that field that's communicating with the quantum field. So in the three-dimensional space-time, the finite space of this physical plane, we are communicating with the infinite realm, the quantum field of two-dimensional non-localized space. And it's through that communication that your field that's communicating and sending your information into that field. The exchange of that is called consciousness. It's your consciousness that's communicating and bringing your information into the quantum field and drawing from the quantum field a reality into this physical plane. So by sending your electromagnetic field into the quantum field, you're able to attract or repel like fields that are resonating at common characteristics to your waveforms, similar frequencies, similar wavelengths, and those fields will either attract into this three-dimensional plane, this what we call life or reality, from the two-dimensional, non-localized, infinite quantum field or the astral realm. So you want to bring infinite wisdom. Well, attract that through setting intention of wisdom, associating heartfelt emotion to that intention, generating a field that will attract wisdom from the energy field. You want health, you want to cure cancer, you want to affect any other ailment that the physical body is undergoing, will draw wellness and energy from the quantum field and change your current physical reality. It can be done, and I'll show you over ensuing weeks case studies where miraculous cures are happening today, where there are amazing scientific studies happening in some of our leading universities worldwide that are demonstrating this reality and showing how we can control our own destiny. We, in fact, can become supernatural beings, very simply. So, in essence, we create our own realities. We can bring into this three-dimensional finite universe, this reality, all that we choose to from the infinite astral quantum realm, whatever we want. Health, wellness, sickness, joy. If you want to be in pain, continue to express mental images of pain. Continue to feel what it feels like to be in pain. And you'll continue to magnetize pain. That's why people keep saying to me, why do I keep having this same thing happen to me over and over again? I tell them because they're living in the thought patterns of their past. And they're keeping those thought patterns alive with emotional, magnetic waves that are creating an aura of magnetism that's drawing pain and suffering from the infinite realm. I mean, every possibility exists in the quantum. There is no limitation. Infinite possibilities are there. In this three-dimensional localized plane, this holographic life we call life, this is finite. So we're collapsing infinity into finitude with our mere thoughts and our emotions. What a blessing to have you join us for this satsang. We look forward to many more.